right at the dam. 9 cubic meters a second is the flow in Ingersoll. Let's see if we can portage around. Alright, we're back in the water. That was kind of dangerous and slippery trying to get back in the boat. Very steep embankments. Definitely getting into a very challenging section of the river right now. Maybe the whole thing is challenging. Here's some good swift action. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm just paddling through a swarm of purple marlins. Interesting, now I'm getting into some cedar trees, which I swear have been planted by the railroad, but I don't know. It just seems odd for there to all of a sudden to be a cedary section. Just a beautiful area. You're surrounded by so much nature, especially in the spring when you got the pretty flowers. The grass or whatever the weeds are on the side of the river don't grow too tall. The giant hogweed is not so giant at the moment. It's really beautiful, especially all the birds, as I said. The insects are starting to come out, and there's a decent amount of water to get in here. You are in rural southern Ontario, and you're right next to a county road, and you're next to train tracks. So there is the existence of humans. You cannot get away from that. But from the majority of what I am seeing, I am not seeing a lot of evidence. There was that trail through Woodstock, which was probably a beautiful trail, and came in handy for trying to get around some of those log jams. But yeah, I am really enjoying my paddle along here. This is beautiful. Best not to be scared of birds out here. Nice to be getting out of that floodplain farmland type area, I'm gonna call it. Back into the forest, get some wind protection. I feel like I'm coming into Beachville, but I don't know. There's an ancient relic. Wow. This looks a little fun. Kind of looks like the Beachville Bridge. And there's a not terrible spot to take out over here. Yeah, if you get out the right section, it's not bad. So worth noting that it's about a 2.5 hour paddle to Beachville. Nice section of rapids right there. There's a class 1. Shallow, of course, because it's rapidy. Here's the road, Domtar Road, where I was going to get out at the museum. Not a lot of great access. It's pretty terrible. Really steep. That is unfortunate. I guess I could have dragged myself up there, but I've got plenty of time. Let's keep going. Little ledge. Nice little drops here after. Wow. Another waterfall. Incredible. Originally I thought I was going to see like a tank over there. Okay, I've seen this in movies. The train has stopped on the bridge. Let's see if we can pull off a train heist. I'll just scale that pole there in the middle right up to the top, and there's probably cars in there, and I'll steal a car. Cool. Some hoggery to get through. That's not a bad access to the left. But yeah, there are some steep banks. Here's where we added up. Here's where we ended up. Nice little staircase to get up and a little monument to the Hamilton Bridge Company here in Ingersoll. The current was really strong through here. I ended up going past the train station's over there. It's a little hard to get to, especially from the river. And there's a lot of what you probably, I don't know, maybe some of this is giant hoggery. I'm sure actually some of this is giant hoggery, if not all of it. So we are trying to stay out of that, and that was all along the other side of the river. Yeah, so don't miss your mark in Ingersoll. The current is